On this week's episode of Beyond the Rig, we've got Steve Higby with us. He's been a veteran driver for about 14, 15 years. He's got over 2 million miles, and he's trained almost 100 different students.
Let's get trucking.
This is Beyond the Rig.
Welcome back to Beyond the Rig.
It's good to be back.
And as you see, sitting next to me is Brett Stabler. He's my new co-host.
See you later, Will.
He fired or quit?
A short leave.
Short leave.
He's still working for us. He's just working
Okay, just in another state.
He went back east, right?
Yeah, I did get to talk to Will this week. And, of course, you know, in true Will fashion, everything that could go wrong
has gone wrong. Yeah, typical.
I swear, like, he's just got like this cloud that just follows him, and if it could go wrong, it did go wrong. So it's pretty interesting.
Personal karma.
Yeah, that's our boy Will.
Yes.
That's our boy Will.
All right, so you ready for today's show?
I'm ready.
All right.
Sitting right across from us, this big man that we have is Steve Higby. He is he's quite the driver for night transportation. He's already run over 1 million miles. Actually, he's a little over 2 million. Yeah, I'm not gonna cut him short there. He's actually gone over 2 million miles. He's been doing this in training for about 8 years. He's trained almost 100 drivers that are out there in the field today driving trucks.
He's been working for us for like 14 years.
Yep.
I've only been in the business for just barely over 14 years, and most of it, 99.9% of that's with night transportation.
Yep. And I had the wonderful opportunity to actually run the Phoenix terminal, which actually houses this beautiful man they call Steven.
6'6".
6'6", college athlete, played at NAU basketball. Now, granted, that was back when anybody could make the team, but that's okay.
Wow. It's game on now.
It's game on.
Well, Steve, we're glad you're here with us today. I'm gonna give him one more introduction because I'm gonna be nice here for just a second before we really get going because he knows my nature and we'll tease back and forth. But he is the hardest working driver I know. When I was running Phoenix, there's nobody like Steve. You could count on him for anything. He would take incredibly difficult or challenging trainees with him, and if they didn't work with Steve, they weren't going to work with anybody. He ran all the time, and he's the only driver I have ever been with who has come into my office, presented his work to me over the course of like 5 years to show his improvements and what he's done, and then ask for a raise. They all ask for a raise, but he's the only one that came in and said, I deserve a raise. This is what I've done. Yeah.
Prepared.
And hey, I think, I gave him exactly what he asked for, and I think I gave him even more than that. Because he was that good. Steve. So I appreciate Steve. I appreciate everything he does. And now that's the last thing nice you're going to hear out of me.
Okay, good. I'm ready.
The man, the myth, the legend.
That's right. The one and only Stephen Higby.
Yeah. She says that now because it's a new relationship. Wait, she'll work into it.
So let's just get in and jump in both feet, right? We need to get to know who is Steve. Who is Steve? So tell us, where'd you grow up?
I grew up mostly in Arizona for most of my life. My dad was in the Air Force, and so we traveled when I was young. But
so where you stationed? Was he stationed at Luke or at Davis?
He was stationed in Davis-Monthan in Tucson. But we were all over the world when I was very, very young. But my adult life is all high school, junior high, college. It's all been in the state of Arizona. It's the funniest way how I got into the industry. When me and my wife got married and started dating.
When did you get married first?
Oh, it's going to be 29 years in July.
29. That's awesome.
She's been putting up with me for a long time.
That is a tough thing to do. I think I only lasted 2.5 years.
Yeah. Then you had to leave.
Yeah. I had to get away from him.
In a straight jacket. I don't blame you. But we've been together 33 years, so
okay.
It was a process. Yeah. I can be a handful to deal with, as most people know. But when her father he was very successful with Goodrich in the rubber division, but that meant he had to travel to customers. So
in
when
the
we
tire,
the tire rubber industry, all various products that he would sell materials for.
Okay.
But that meant you were on the road a lot. So when we got together and we figured out we were going to get married, she told me, I don't ever want you to have a job where you travel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing how things change when you find out how much money you can actually make if I'm out here. But, it's probably kept our marriage going. Trying to deal with me full time, as you well know, on a long time basis is tough. Yeah. So me getting out of the house probably is lengthened our marriage. I don't know, but I've only had about 4 jobs in my entire life.
Really?
Yeah, I'm almost 59 years old now, and I just, when I do something, I try to do the best I can every day. So I don't want to go from thing to thing to thing to thing. You develop relationships, you show them who you are, you get the respect that you earn and deserve, your pay increases, and if you go keep changing, you have to start all over again. Yeah. And it never made any sense to me. So I've owned my own 7-Eleven store. She and I owned it for about 10 years.
You still own it today?
No,
or you sold
if I owned it today, young lady, we wouldn't know each other. But, and I was very good at that. But just economics, wrong market, anything that goes along with owning a business. Sure. That went away. I was a car salesman.
I could totally
Don't even say a damn word.
Wow.
I was damn good at it,
without a doubt in my mind.
I was one of the number 1 or 2 guys every month.
Shocking.
And I know, right?
Shocking.
And everything they say about car salesmen
is true. I know it is.
You guys are all marks. Every one of you in this room. There's a running term. It's called taking somebody's head off. That came from the car industry. There's 3 ways to make money in the car deal: finance, trade-in, or whatever you're buying. When you take somebody's car head off, you take them in all 3 categories. If you ever want to buy a car, come and find me, and I'll show you how to get the best deal.
Oh my gosh, you've got to be the best person to go and buy a car because you already know the tricks of the trade. Yeah, so you got to drive a baddie.
When we bought the last car I bought for my wife, I told her she could have anything she wanted. We were going to trade in 2 cars, go down to 1 car since I was on the road. Like Mr. Stable said, I'm on the road a lot. And I said, you can have whatever you want. To my wife's credit, she didn't break me. She went and bought, I'm going to give a plug here, the Ford C-Max. It's a hybrid, partial electric, partial fuel. And we went into the dealership, and she goes, just do your thing and get us a good deal. And I said, okay. So we sat there. And so of course, they always don't ever fall for this. They want to work the deal all together.
Never work it together.
Never work it together.
Never.
Have your financing, have an idea what your car's worth, have an idea of what the car you need to buy. You can find out anything on the internet and work them separately to get the best number in every category. Then the number is what it's supposed to be. By the end of that thing, he goes, he said, oh, well, let's run your credit. Let's find out who you are. And I said, my credit's just fine, young man. You don't need to worry about a thing. Well, everybody says that. I'm going, this okay. So we worked through the deal. I get one on. By the time we got done, the guy goes, you sold cars, right? And I go, yeah, and I'm a hell of a lot better at it than you are. But, of course. And then, of course, the arrogance comes out all the time. And I sold insurance for a short time.
Okay.
Like car insurance, life insurance,
all of it together. I have my, I believe it's called 7 license.
Yeah. Okay.
Where I could sell financial products as well. Access to the market, stocks, life insurance.
Series 7, yeah.
Series 7, yep. Exactly. Yep. It's been a long time.
Yep.
Wow, so you went from sales to
It's trucking. A numbers game. It's a numbers game. They're all numbers games, okay? And so is this. You have to know your numbers. You have to know distances, miles, exit markers, routes, pre-plans, how to combine them so that you know you could do it on your time. Again, with the numbers, logs are time. It's really my one only strength as far as who I think I am as far as the job. I'm really good with numbers. And that includes how much I get paid.
And Steve does just fine.
Yeah, I do just fine. I do.
Yeah, but he works his tail off.
I do fine. There's no question about it. I make a good deal of money for my family, but I make a hell of a lot more money for you guys. As far as I'm concerned, that's part of the gig. That's how you make yourself indispensable in whatever your job is.
Right.
The more indispensable I am, the more value I hold to the company, the more secure I am in my job position. It's just the way my mind works, but it's all numbers, all of it. Running the clock, knowing the miles, memorizing highways and the exits and how many miles from here. I don't have to guess how far I'm going to go. I just know because I already know the miles. Do you have to be successful to be a truck driver and be able to do that? No, you don't have to. But if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be the best at it.
Maximize, yeah.
I'm going to maximize my income. Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, you don't see the country out there, folks. It looks the same from the interstate. There's got to be there has to be a motivating factor. For me, doing a good job, pride in what I do, pride in training the best trainees, that's what I do. That's what I'm going to do every time. Are some more difficult than others? Oh, yes, they are. But, again, contrary to popular belief, people are not born with the same skill set. They don't learn the same. They don't have the same IQ. Language barrier is difficult in many occasions. And I think the reason I've had some success is because I can find a way to communicate with anybody. I think the best people at their jobs can communicate. If you can communicate only one way, you suck at what you do.
And we talked about that.
We've talked about that a lot. You suck at what you do. If you are not willing to give the effort to be able to read people and understand what motivates them,
right,
and what motivates you, you need to find something else to do. That's just it. The problem with the industry today is everybody just thinks you show up, put your hands on a wheel, and you could drive a truck.
Yeah.
It's so much, and trainers are the same way. I think they show up, put somebody in their truck, make extra money. The guy learns he doesn't. You have to give effort. If you don't get effort, you like a computer. It's only as good as who's putting the information in.
Yeah. True statement.
So, you can always pick out the people who want to be better at their jobs. That's a strength for him. It's a strength for you.
Well, thank you, Steve.
Yeah, thank you.
You have to. That's what takes you to the next level as a leader in a position of power and authority.
So, I know you said that you were in your marriage that you were never going to be away.
How did this come about?
So why did you get in trucking?
Well, when we got rid of the 7-Eleven store, first of all, the 7-Eleven market is poor for that convenience store. Circle K and QT's, they do better. They have more stores, more money. 7-Elevens kind of have been phased out pretty much in the valley. So we had to do something else. Excuse me. So she was looking around, and every year you see the article, there's a shortage of truck drivers. First of all, whoever's getting paid to spread that rumor needs to be taken out and flogged in the square, okay? Because it's not true. I'm out there. There's not a lack of truck drivers. There's a lack of good truck drivers.
There you go.
Okay? That's the problem. But when she saw this, Miss Dominique, and she said, "What do you think about this?" And the initial thought that went through my brain goes, "There goes that not being away from home thing." But
well, how long have you been married at that point?
So we've been married 29 years in July, and I have now been driving for 14, so 15 years.
So she's been invested enough to know this will be better if you're out.
Maybe he needs to go away for a while. I've got the pool man coming over every week. I need to get, I need him out of the house. But
smart lady.
I didn't marry her because she's dumb, but she's a very smart lady, very opinionated. So that's why I like you, okay? Yeah, I like the edge. I want that. It makes you be better. It pushes you. First woman I ever spent any considerable amount of time with that did not believe every word that came out of my mouth.
Wow.
So, Oh, yeah, exactly, right.
That's big.
Hey, I used to be gifted. No, okay.
That's big, because I didn't believe a word that came out of your mouth from day one.
Well, you're a man, though. See, you don't get all this sexiness. You don't understand it. You don't get it.
For all of our listeners and viewers, this man is not short of confidence. We refer to it as confidence, but we all know deep down it's just this giant, arrogant ego.
I like to call it extremely self-confident. Okay? It sounds nicer.
It sounds better.
Sounds better.
Yes.
Okay? It's only arrogance if you can't back it up.
Okay.
There
you go.
But so I went to school at AIT, and I did very well. And I'm going to give you a story that I've told very few people about, because
it's a great story, though. It's
embarrassing, first of all. So
I want to hear it.
So I go, like I said, I did very well. It's a numbers game for me. I have a super good retention ability. If I see something or read something, I usually don't forget it. I don't have to ever remember how to get to a customer. I remember it. I remember lengths on highways. I remember exit numbers for where the truck stops are. I don't have to look at the book.
Right.
And so I'm going through my process. I'm doing super good. I'm super confident about where I am. And then it comes time to test out for the CDL. Okay? I got 100% on the pre-trip. Got 100% on the brake test. I took out on the driving test. Did amazingly well. I come back to do my backing, and about halfway through, the instructor goes, "Stop. You're hideous. What the hell are you doing?" And he was right. I was horrible. So I get out. You know how I am. My temper, when I think I've failed at something, is not good.
Short fuse. Yep.
Short fuse. When I expect myself, I expect to
anger
do,
management.
I expect to do well. Yes.
Right.
I expect to do well. Okay. And I was pathetic. I get out of the truck. Everybody goes through their things. He comes up to me afterwards. He goes, "I don't know who the hell was in the truck at that backing test, but it sure as hell wasn't you." He brings me in the next morning, retests me, and I got 100%.
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't tell that story much because it's freaking embarrassing, because now there's nowhere I can't back a truck into.
Yeah.
Right.
And they don't keep me around for my sparkling personality. I can guarantee you that. But it just shows you, even as the best, what I consider myself a very good driver, and I appreciate what Mr. Stabler said, it's very generous of him to say, I give my full effort every time I have somebody in my truck. I give my full effort every time I'm solo. A lot of guys do. So when I failed so miserably, what it told me was, it's like why we watch the U.S. Open for golf. We want to see somebody who's super good at something fail for them to be average. Okay, that even the guys who are really super good at something can be horrible every once in a while.
Makes us human.
Huh?
It makes them human.
It makes them more accessible to us as viewers. Going, that looks just like something I would do right there. There's times I'm out with a trainee and I'll be giving him some advice, and it just goes. He's probably looking at me and go, "Wow, I thought you were supposed to be good at this." And I tell him, I go, "I am good at this." There's just days where it's just not clicking.
Yeah.
Okay. The key is don't hit anything. Okay. No matter how bad you may be, there's days I still laugh at myself. Still laugh at myself about what I've done. And I tell them one thing. First of all truck drivers are natural liars. Okay. They're all natural liars. The first liar never stands a chance. Every story gets bigger with the telling. Everyone. And you'll have drivers, "Oh, yeah, I put it in the hole every time. It's beautiful every time I do it." They're lying.
Yeah.
Okay? They're lying. Nobody does it perfect every time. But I think that's one of the things that has saved me through the years. Yes, I'm extremely confident. Some might even say arrogant. They would. They might say that. It's a reasonable response, but I never stop thinking I can do better. I never stop thinking I can be better than I was the day before. Improving every time. I tell my trainees every day, improve today. Just improve a little bit today. Every day, get a little bit better. Understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
Any crazy stories with trainees that, I don't know, maybe you had to stop in the middle of an interstate and yank them out? I mean, I don't know anything.
You know what? You might not know this because you've been gone for a little while, taking that bloated salary that they're paying for you to do whatever the hell it is you actually do. I don't even know anymore. But
goodness gracious.
Oh my God! I'll tell you, put me in front of the big boss, and I'll have your job in 5 minutes. I mean,
either that, or he'll say, "How in the world did you get such a bloated salary too? How are you making this?"
You know what I want to know is how the hell does everybody know how much money I make?
Who knows how much money you make?
Everybody knows.
Because you tell them.
You haven't looked yet. Yeah. Yates used to remind me all the time, you make more money than I do. And I told him there's 2 reasons for that. I'm smarter than you are, and I'm better at my job than you are.
Oh, I thought it was going to be better looking.
That's usually what he says. That's a given.
I've been looking for that freaking job my whole life, and it's not out there. What was I saying?
Memorable stories.
Oh, memorable stories.
With your trainees, anything crazy out there?
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Look, it's not a glamorous life we lead out in the truck.
Right. If
you've ever spent any time out there, and there are times where you are in the middle of nowhere, and
you got to use the restroom.
You have to use the restroom. I love this woman. She's just so blunt to the point.
She knew it was coming.
Yeah, she knows. And he's sitting next to me, and I'm driving, and he looks at me, and I go, "We have an issue." And he goes, "I have to use the restroom." I go, "Well, put the flashlight." He goes, No, it's a different kind of using the restroom. I go, "We're in the middle of nowhere, man. Even I'm not good enough to materialize a truck stop. Make a decision. Let me know what you want to do." And he goes, "Are you going to tell everybody?" And I go, "Oh, hell yes, I'm going to tell everybody. But I promise never to use your name." So we go down. He goes, No, I'm going to wait. How long do we have? I go, about 50 miles to the next truck stop. And he goes, "Okay, I'm going to wait.
Oh, no.
About 5 miles down the road, he goes, "You got to pull over. And so he pulled over, did what he had to do, got back in the truck, and I just go, "Listen, I'll never use your name, but everybody's going to know, man." And, and I never have used his name. But
it happens.
Look, there's 2 things you have to be able to drive a truck and to survive out there. The intelligence part of it, yes, that'll take you to the next level. The extra effort, it'll take you to the next level. I think those will make you better in the revenue for the company and for yourself. But you've got to have a certain toughness to you. You were out there for what, 3 days?
No, it was a week.
A week.
Yeah.
Steve told me when it got off, he was crying. He knew if he got in the truck with me for his week, I told him.
All right.
I told him that I would bring him home crying to his mommy.
Back it up. I want to just go back, if we could, rewind the tape, where Steve says every truck driver's a liar. So you're going to believe what Steve Passanelli tells you.
I am not a truck driver. I drive a truck for a living.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Okay, well, Passanelli.
Passanelli's a truck driver.
Okay, then. There we go.
But let's see.
That's awesome.
But no, I spent that week out there with him.
You spent that week out there with him.
Why didn't you go with Higbee?
I tried, and Higbee was nervous that if I saw him in his actual day-to-day, that he wouldn't get the raises that he would come in annually and request.
Oh, now we know.
And so I just told Steve.
He's embarrassed to say that I told him if he pissed me off, I leave him in the middle of the desert.
Honestly, Steve had so many trainees with him all the time that to disrupt it just was like,
the rule was, and I don't know if this is still the rule, my truck doesn't stay empty.
Yeah.
That was the rule when Chris Van Cleef, even Michael Yates would do that. Even he understood that I was going to give full effort.
Yeah.
And people that, if somebody couldn't get along with the trainee for one reason or the other, I don't think we need to go in for some of the reasons that could pop up, that they came to me.
Yep.
That was the rule. I take a lot of pride in that. That means something to me.
Right.
Like I said, the ability to reach people and communicate with people, I think, lifts you up into what you're bringing to the table as an employee or as a boss. But there's another story, a couple other stories. Now, the fuel story that I get, I've only had 2 people have the unmitigated gall to ask me this question as a trainee. So I know how much fuel the truck will use. I pay attention to how far, when it goes down, how many miles I can get. Okay, so, but I'll push the envelope to maximize my day. Okay, so if I want to stop and I want to get to that fuel solution, that way I do it in one sequence, and it saves me time in my day, because truck stops are not what people think. You don't go in 5 minutes, you fuel up, and you're gone. Okay, you're 3 deep in every island.
Yep.
Then you got to wait for these guys who think that the world is set up just for them and nobody else matters. Okay, and then you.
I've seen that. I experienced
you
that.
understand that.
Well, and the other drivers that are waiting, they get furious.
Oh my God! The message. Will the drivers in the lanes after you're done fueling, please pull up all the fuel on it? You would think that this would be common sense. It is not.
See, then you start hearing the horns and guys yelling.
You know, I hate the horn. You know that. If you got something to say, get out of the damn truck and talk to them. But so we're coming down the road. And I've got the fuel solution. I've told him how far it is, and the red light comes on, and he's getting nervous, and I can see him getting nervous. I do it all the time, and he's getting nervous. The little light comes on. We're in the red, and I can see he wants to ask me. I can see, but no one's ever done this. And sooner he just can't help himself anymore, and he looks over at me and he says, "Are we gonna make it?" And I said, "No. You know what, man? You caught me. I'm running out of fuel on purpose." You know why? Because I'm going to strap your dumb ass to the front of this truck and have you pull us to the truck stop. I said, yes, we're going to make it, okay? I'm not an idiot. And he goes, okay. So, but I've had 2 people ask me a question. Now, my personality is the reason, and I can say this pretty confidently, I still talk to the guys, the first guy I ever trained still calls me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, still calls me. He's not with the company anymore, but he still calls to check on me. He's always been super generous on thanking me for what I've done, and I take a lot of pride in that. I take care of my guys in the truck. Okay, if they don't have money, I feed them. Okay, I pay for all the showers. I think it takes the communication next level, because they know I give a crap about what I'm doing.
You have their back.
Okay,
yeah, you care about them.
I have their back. Not everybody comes to the table with the same set of skills or the same financial comfort zone, okay? And they need to know that they're important. Am I going to allow them to take advantage of me and go out for steak dinners? No, of course not. But I'm not going to let people starve. It's because of the circumstances of when I got trained, how I was treated by my trainer at Werner, the worst experience of my life.
Wow.
He was absolutely hideous. He sat in the front seat with me for 20 minutes, got up, unstrapped his belt, went back and laid back down. We were 79,000 pounds pulling load on a flatbed, wide train flatbed with Werner. I do not know, and he got up and I go, where the hell are you going? And he goes, I've been watching. You know what you're doing. You're okay. It's the only time he sat in the front seat with me.
Wow.
In 4 weeks.
Wow.
Luckily, my personality lends itself to being proactive and engaged, and the schooling that I had, I knew what to do. I took care, there's a couple little instances where, I'm going, oh, Christ, I hope I could slow this thing down. But my personality is I'm engaged with them. I'm paying attention even when they think I'm not watching. I'm watching what they're doing, how they're reacting, and I had my personality is pretty upfront.
Right.
Really?
Pretty upfront. Okay. Pretty straightforward. Let's cut through the bullshit.
Never would have guessed, but okay.
Never would have guessed, but you're going to go with me on that?
Okay. I believe you.
Shocking.
One of the funniest incidences, and I'm sure at the time he didn't think it was so hilarious, but I thought it was hilarious as hell. We're in Seattle. He'd been in my truck for 3 weeks. He's doing very well. He was listening. But he had a little bit of that. I think I know what I'm doing now.
I got it.
I think I got this. I think I'm dialed in, and we've got a load where we've got to get stopped and done by 5, or we're gonna have to hold on to the load and deliver it the next day, and it's a Saturday, and then we can't pick up our next load, and it's a nightmare.
Right.
So we come to an intersection, making a left-hand turn. There's 2 left-hand turn lanes, and for people who don't know, you get in the outside left-hand turn lane. to come right around the traffic. Yeah. He was in the wrong lane. He was in the inside lane. And I said, what'd you do wrong? He goes, I'm in the wrong damn lane, aren't I? I go, yes, you're in the wrong damn lane. Okay, so we're going to have to wait here until traffic clears on our right, and then we're going to have to pull around the corner, around and get on our street. Then we make that quick left, and we're in our last stop. We'll be okay. We're going to be okay. Just relax, take a breath. It's no big deal. It happens. The minute the freaking light went green, he took off into the intersection.
Oh, no.
And so I'm saying, stop. And you know me, look, my voice is loud. When I want to get something across, it goes through walls. And after 2 stops and him not reacting, you're going to have to beep this one out. I told him, stop the fucking truck. And he turns to me, and I'm 6'6", 285, and a former athlete. I can take care of myself. And he's about 6 foot tall, a munchkin.
A munchkin at 6
and
foot?
He looks at me and he says, shut the fuck up. You're making it worse.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So knowing me the way you do, I could have taken the diplomatic approach and realized that the pressure and the anxiety of the moment had gotten to him, or I could be me.
Oh, boy.
I said, stop the truck. As soon as this guy clears, take a corner. If you do not stop, you're going to take that guy's front end who's coming from the other direction. You're going to take his, and it was another truck. You're going to take his front end off. And if you do that, you're done. So he stopped. And I think he started to realize he had made a serious error in judgment.
Yeah.
So we come around the corner. I said, pull to the side. He goes, well, it's right. I don't care. Pull to the freaking side of the road. And he looks at me, and I said, set the brake, put your cell phone off duty. I'm still training. Set the brake, put your flashers on, put your cell phone off duty. And I turned to him, and I said, if you ever fucking talk to me like that again, I will throw your ass out of this truck, set your shit on fire, and leave you here. And
oh, my God.
Now, and he and I had gotten wrong well, but there are 2 things in the world you do not tell me to do. You do not tell me to shut up, ever.
Oh, my gosh.
And you do not get up in my face. Now, I am not a testosterone-filled idiot Neanderthal who's looking for a fight on every corner. Okay? But if you get up in my face, I am going to push back every time. I will not walk away. It's just my personality. I'm just, and you're the same way, and you know it.
I know. We had a little of that.
Yeah, a couple of times. And so he looks at me, and I can see he's going to start crying. Now, this is a grown man.
Oh,
now,
boy.
I don't think tears are a weakness. I don't think that.
Yeah.
Okay? But he had reacted poorly, and I think he started to realize that he had really pushed the envelope along.
The moment got to him.
It was too much pressure, and some people just do not handle pressure well. Me, the big stuff like that, who cares? It's the little stuff that I feel I should be able to control that drives me to madness. Yeah. Okay, that where I have a problem and I want it fixed, and I can't get anybody to do what I want them to do. They think I'm going to let it go. You know me. It's not letting go until it comes off the checklist. I'll call you every damn day until you fix it.
I know.
Yeah. So we get there, and I said,
did you let him continue on driving?
oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, that's
just a coaching moment.
That's just it's a coaching moment, and it's a human being moment. You crossed the line with me.
And it wouldn't have been as impactful had you let him continue to drive while you're trying to teach him
That's right. And I'm not going to interrupt his flow of concentration while he's driving 79,000 pounds down a road in a city street. So we pull up into the establishment. I run in there, and I say, it's like 2 to 5. And I run in there, and you know me, I can talk people into almost anything. And I talked him in. You don't know this, but I'm pretty good at it. That's why
you just told me you were a car salesman. You were like, I get it.
I'm pretty good at it. So I walk in there, and I'm going, I know we're close, but you got to take us. And he goes, okay, put it on the dock. So I come back outside, and there's only 2 or 3 pallets left in it. And I say, flip it around inside the lot, We're going to go onto this dock right here. He flipped it around and he put it right on the dock. First time.
Awesome.
We'd been in there for about 3 weeks. He had been learning. He was doing well. I walked up to the side of the window and I go, it's a damn shame you have no ability to handle pressure because you might actually be pretty good at this. And so I walk inside. They pull the stuff off. I walk back inside, and he's crying when I come back. And I go, okay. So that's not me. You know me. I just don't react like that. I don't, like I said, I don't think it's a weakness. I don't think you're some kind of
everybody.
Everybody's different. Everybody, I've made him cry. I know he shuts the door. He goes
home in the fetal position.
Cries. But Steve was mean to me. Man. Okay, but I get in there. I go, listen, what's the problem here? And he goes, well, you're mad. And I go, yeah.
You didn't listen.
As far as I'm concerned, we're done though now. We're good. I've gotten out what I needed to say. You've been taking it in. You did a great job. We finished the load. We're good to go. We're going to go pick up this other thing. And then we're going to get stopped. He goes, well, are you going to call and tell somebody? I go, tell them what? That you screwed up?
Everybody does.
And you told me to fuck off? You're not, I'm telling you, you're not the baddest person who's ever told me that. And you probably won't be the last person that ever says it to me. I don't care. I said, I need to get you ready. He goes, and I said, what are you worried about? You're going to get fired? And he goes, well, I know those people know who you are. And they told me that if you can't train somebody, that they just basically fire them. And I said, well, there is some concrete evidence to that, but you're not one of those guys. You're doing fine. The guy thought we were going to get him fired. He thought, and he says to me, and I took a lot of pride in this. He said, listen, I know I don't do the pressure thing well. But I just don't, and I have some problems. And I go, yes, you do. You have a few problems. I just don't think anybody else would put up with me in the truck if they tell me that you won't train me anymore. I go, listen, we got a week left, man.
Relax.
There ain't nobody I can't put up with for a week.
Relax.
And plus, you haven't been that bad. Listen, one of my strengths is to being able to deal with multiple personalities.
Oh, yeah, because there's all kinds of them.
Because if the 6 people in this room, I guarantee you I could say one sentence to each of you, and everybody would take it a different way.
True statement.
Right. And everybody would understand it in a different way.
Right.
You must be able to communicate, and the people who do it best are going to rule the world.
You got it.
Right.
Okay, so, what was I saying?
Well, you were talking about my phone.
No, so
you were talking about he was afraid of getting fired. You said I can handle another week.
So, and he's surfing the net. So when I go through the training process, I try to cover all aspects of it. Okay, not only driving and backing, but our programs, the 401k, health insurance, the new stock dividend plan that you get as a million-mile driver, which I don't even pay attention to, but I just know that it's coming into my account. I'm just, because 5 years is a long time. So I just going to let it do its thing till they vest.
1 year. They vest in 1 year.
That's not what I was told.
For your $500,000, they vest in 1 year, but we'll talk later.
Okay. So I try to go through everything because there's a lot of competition out there. Everybody thinks that something's going to be, this one thing's better. Okay, well, we'll look at the 5 things that are worse. Okay? You've got to have a perspective. When I make a decision whether I think I need to move on, I take my entire driving career into perspective, which includes him. Okay, knowing him, look, I give him a hard time, but he looks out for me. Excuse me.
He really likes you, Stabler. I don't know
why.
He
does. He looks out for me. So I can be a handful.
I know. We just need to talk to Mrs. Higbee.
Oof, sainthood. But he handles me better than anybody's ever handled me in any job I've ever had.
I need to write that down just in case.
It's true. It's true. It's true. He didn't always agree with me when I couldn't. There's a couple times I walked in there, And I went off on him, and I told him, this is ridiculous, stupid corporate bullshit that you're handing me here. And he would look at me, and he would just sit there and watch me and listen to me for a little while. And he'd go, you kind of crossed the line now. We're pretty much done here. That told me everything I had done. I wasn't going to get my way. He wasn't going to agree with me, and we were done. He didn't call me a jackass or tell me you're a jerk or I don't want to ever hear from your opinion again, you know. But it's except he let me spout off my bullshit, and then we moved on with the day.
Let's say there's a driver out there that's doing great, and he's thinking about training. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give him?
Make sure you know what you're getting into. Don't pretend like you know everything. I have a line I tell every trainee that comes into my truck. I'm not going to lie to you or tell you something. I know something when I don't. My ego is just fine. If I don't know something, sure, we'll find out. Okay?
Right.
Have a basis of knowledge, have driven all over the country. So you have an semblance of idea of what you're going to deal with in all those very different areas. I think they have to be a communicator. Before anybody gets in my truck, I spend 15, 20, 25 minutes either on the phone or in person when we come to the truck, finding out who they are. Some people will say, well, that's an invasion of privacy.
No.
You know, it's not. If you do it correctly and put it in like we've been talking about this the whole day, how you communicate, how can you get what you need from them to do the best job and make them want to give it to you.
Sure.
Okay? Don't just, how much money do you make? Okay, what'd you do? Are you married? Okay, put it in the conversation. They have to know that you give a crap about who they are.
Right.
You know this, but you both know that you've been doing this long enough. People love to talk about themselves.
Sure, yep.
You just got to give them the right opportunity to do it.
Got to ask the right questions.
Okay, the reason that I think this is one of the most important things and one of the most important things you folks should pay attention to, can you get that information? Who they are before they get into the truck is vital information.
Yeah.
Some people at corporate might not agree with me. Can we get a warm body and a seat? Okay, can he pass a test? Does he have the money for the school? Let's go. Not true. Do you want to continue to pour what I consider, by the way, and here's a huge compliment for Night Transportation, an unbelievably competitive program when it comes to what you're getting for what you're paid and the amount of money you're paying them to be on the road. It's unbelievably generous as far as I'm concerned. Well done by everybody. Maybe you're getting a better class of people. Maybe you're getting more people who really understand there's money to be. But if you find out who that trainee is, a little bit more vetting service. What have they done for a living? Have they been in an office their whole life? Okay. Are they used to making decisions on their own? How do they handle pressure? You can get to how they react to the questions. And the most important thing, and I hate to say this, but it's just simple reality of where we're living. What are you used to making? How you doing? What are you used to making in your life? Okay? Because if you can get that answer, and I have never, in the entire time I've trained, had one guy look at me and go, I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you that. They tell me every time. Because if I know that I've got a guy that's made $38,000, $40,000, I own him. He knows. If I could get him to understand how much I give a crap about what he's doing, we're going to keep him. Because he's going to be able to make more money and be paid for work done driving a truck than he has ever seen in his life if he just listens to what I tell him. Right. Okay? If he's been in the office his whole life, stamina. Okay? It tells me that they're not used to working. I mean, this guy, if you get him to work a 4-hour day, he's exhausted.
Oh, my God.
Okay? I mean, he's exhausted.
Well, Steve, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come and talk to us.
It was my pleasure.
It was definitely entertaining. I can honestly say that.
Organized chaos, as we'd like to call it.
Yeah,
entertaining.
The first part was more better than the second part. Is
those Mobetas are good.
Huh?
Those Mobetas are good.
The Mobetas are good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But, hey, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate your thoughts. We want our audience to know we appreciate you viewing and listening. stream us wherever you're at, whether it's in YouTube, whether you're on social media, at Beyond the Rig podcast, wherever you can find us. Go out and like us, find it, listen. I'm Brett Stabler. This is Linda Domini, and let's keep on trucking.
We enjoyed bringing this show to you, and we hope you had fun along the way, too. We're going 10-10 for now, but you can catch us on the side on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Beyond the Rig and Drive Night. Until next time, be safe out there and keep trucking.